Good morning, CEO, Executive Director, Ombudsman, um, panelists, and everybody that is with us this morning. We take this time and say a very good morning. And to our viewers online, welcome to our webinar, where we are going to be tackling a topic: emerging consumer complaints and trade and trends in the new normal. My name is Mcoli Simbuli. I am with the Office of the Ombudsman of Financial Service. And may I just begin by welcoming all of us into our webinar, and bese sengibeke ama-ground rules for our webinar. May I request that all our phones abe ku silent mode so that sitokhona kusebenta kahle. Otherwise siyanemukela nonke kule webinar yethu ya 2022, and sitawuba nesikhatsi lesihle. And to our viewers online, we request that if there are comments, if there are questions, siqhubeke siwafake ku our online platforms. This morning, as program director, I am not alone. I am with my colleague here, and may I take this time and welcome my colleague. He's going to introduce herself, and she will continue with the program. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mbuli. And indeed, we are looking forward to very insightful discussions today, navigating as we deal with navigating complaints in the new normal and all other issues thereto related. But as the first order of business, we would like the organizing institutions to welcome us to this webinar officially. And for that, we will ask the heads of the institutions, namely from the Eswatini Competition Commission, Mr. Muzi Dlamini, and from the Ombudsman of Financial Services, the Ombudsman herself, Ms. Nomdumiso Simelane. Mr. Dlamini, I suppose you could go first. You have the floor. My name, ladies and gentlemen, is Pure Vilagati.
Thank you, Spiwe, and thank you to my role is fairly simple, and it's really to welcome you all here today. The Ombudsman of Financial Services, Ms. Nondumiso Simelane, Customer Service Advocate, Dr. Musega, Central Bank Case Manager, Mr. Raymond Masimula, Eswatini Standards Development Officer, Ms. Mondlane, the Executive Director of the CIMAC, Mrs. Nomkosi Makakula, Financial Services Regulatory Authority, Head of Stakeholder Customer Affairs, Mr. Mbuso Kamete, Eswatini Competition Commission, Manager Consumer Protection, Mr. Linda Dlamini, representatives of media houses, customers, businesses joining us virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending and welcome to this webinar panel discussion. My name is Muzi Dlamini, and I am the CEO of the Eswatini Competition Commission. Firstly, we would like to extend our appreciation to you and your respective organizations for once again partnering with us as we celebrate Customer Service Week, an international celebration of the importance of customer service and of the people who serve and support customers on a daily basis. The Eswatini Competition Commission is a public enterprise established to ensure fair competition within the business environment and to ensure the protection and welfare of consumers. The Customer Service Week offers the Commission and its partners an opportunity to provide our stakeholders with an update on some of the measures that have been undertaken to ensure customer satisfaction by the respective institutions who are participating in this webinar today. The webinar also provides a platform to engage and educate consumers, businesses, and other related stakeholders on consumer rights. The Commission and the Office of the Ombudsman of Financial Services, together with our partner organizations, in their commitment to continuously improve alternative dispute resolution mechanisms and in celebration of Customer Service Week, have once again joined efforts to host the second webinar panel discussion. All the respective institutions today who are represented today are at the forefront of customer service and dispute resolution as they strive to provide the best service to the customers we all serve. One of the ways we serve our customers is to provide them with a platform to resolve disputes should customers feel they have been treated unfairly. It is therefore important that we continuously improve our methods of dispute resolution so that we're able to respond effectively to emerging trends in customer protection. This year's theme couldn't be more fitting as there are a number of emerging customer issues within the digital market space that require regulators and consumer advocates to remain extra vigilant. So we look forward to learning from one another as well as gaining valuable insights from the many consumers in Eswatini who are joining us virtually today. On behalf of the organizers, I welcome you to this webinar on navigating consumer complaints in the new normal. Thank you, Program Director. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dlamini. We do indeed look forward to all the insights that are going to come out from all the points you've mentioned, including that these organizations that have organized this webinar work tirelessly to improve dispute resolution mechanisms for customers. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, may I ask Ms. Nondumiso Smelane from the Ombudsman of Financial Services, who is the Ombudsman herself, to come and welcome us herself. Thank you.
Nkolisi. Ya ngitaqala ngekwemukela sive lesethamele lombuthano etinkhundleni tekuxhumana ngebuchwepheshe lobehlukene bese ngihlonipha labo betfu labakhona la bonke. Ngitawucala ngaye umlingani wami lo buke lithimba leluse pheceleti i-Competition Commission kuleli vela kangwane. Ngiqhubeke bese ngihlonipha labo betfu labatawuthi bakhulume tinkhulumo letehlukene basuka emahhovisi abo labawamele. Ngiyalihlonipha lihovisi lelibhange lelikhulu kangwane lenalo linawo umnyango wekusombulula tikhalo tesive nalabo lelibhange libelusile esikhatsini lesinengi noma kuso sonke isikhathi kungemabhange. Ngitawulihlonipha lihovisi lalobukele kusombulula tikhalo tetisebenti eveni pheceleti i-commission lesibita ngekutsi kafishane yisimak. Ngihloniphe lomele lihovisi laloyo lokhutsata kuhlonishwa kwalabo lebemukela lusito noma lwangaluphi luhlobo lababitwa pheceleti ngekusengama customer. Ngihloniphe lihhovisi la lo weluse lo lawula labo labasebhizinisini yetindzaba tetimali pheceleti iFSRA njengoba naye amelelwe la. Ngitawuchubeka ngihloniphe lihhovisi lelibukele kwekuthi nanoma yini lephetsa esandleni semuntu abe ayikhokhele imali lomunye kanzi kulokunye noma angayikhokheli imali kungaba ngiloko lesikubita ngekwekuthi pheceleti ma goods noma loko lesikubita ngekwekuthi lusito pheceleti services kodwa kufanele kube selizingeni lelifanele. Kunelihhovisi eveni laKangwane noma embusweni welive laKangwane lelibukele emazinga. Ngiyalihlonipha lelo hhovisi lokusila. Ngendlule ngihloniphe lona lihhovisi lemlingani umnumzane Dlamini losukako la nalo lelibuke kwelusa kucudzelana ngalokufanele kuze labo labatfola lusito noma labatfola leto tintfo labasuke batitsengile noma kabasatitsenganga batikhokhela imali kodwa vele labe bafanele lokuthi batitfole pheceleti goods and services. Lomeleke i-competition commission kuleli bandla lelitawuba setinkulumeni kulokusa kwalamhla njengoba sihlangene la. Ngendlule ngibingelele ngalokukhethekile labo labangibona bahambisa tindzaba talokwendekako nanoma ngabe ngiluphi ihlangothi lokuphila pheceleti imedia. Ngitawendlula bese ngihlonipha bona naba labakhona kokwenta kwekuthi laba nathi la nalaba ngekho la labakhona kokuthi balandzele etinkhundleni ngekwehlukana tekuchumana bakhona lokuthi basilandzele. Ngiyabahlonipha nabo ngalokukhethekile. Ngendlule bese ngihlonipha ke balingani bethu labakhona ikakhulu labangibona batasichubela lohlelo namhla. Bayababita bathi bo program director utawubabita mangoya uyakhanuka pheceleti uthi ma facilitators. Ngicela kubahlonipha ngalokukhethekile. Ngalokwendlulele ngicela kuhlonipha bona laba labalungise lo msebenzi njengaloku sila sesicala kugubha impumelelo yawo. Siyabonga kakhulu kwekuthi sibe nabo basicabangele ngetulu kwako konke bacabangela wena ulapho ekhaya wena ulapho la ukhona khona wena njengaloku liviki lesikilo nje kusuka ngemsombuluko liviki lekuqala la October eminyakeni yonke liviki lekuhlonipha loyo lowemukela noma atfole lusito noma loko lasuke akuthengile nanoma ngabe ke sowunikwe ngayiphi indlela kungaba pheceleti i-product kungaba pheceleti goods kungaba pheceleti services. Sitewugubha noma sitewubungata nekukhumbula bumcoka bekwekuthi bandvu abatfole lusito ngalokutawuba sezingeni njengoba sengiphawulile kwekuthi sinalabo labasuka kulolo hlangothi lwemazinga. Umuntu akachube ananatele inkulumo yemlangeni lokwekuthi sisonke la sinawo pheceleti ema-customer ngandlela thite loko lokwendako ukwendela ukuthi kwamukelwe kutfokotelwe ngumuntu kumcoka ke lokwekuthi labo bandvu labo asibahloniphe sibahloniphe ngalokuphelele. Budlelwane bethu ke naleli bandla lelibuke kucudzelana eveni laKangwane bukhulu sebunemalanga njengaloku aphawulile naye yesibili lenkundla yekukhulumisana nekukhulumisa tindzaba thite letitsinza customer loku siyibambile lo nyaka sicale eminyakeni lofile 2021. Ingcikithi ke yalonyaka ithi ingabe vele siluhamba njani kenyalo naluhambo siuhamba njani kenyalo nangulo mgubudla ingabe vele sihamba njani lendlela yekuthi sibasite labo lesibasitako sasombulula tikhalo tabo loku nyalo kusebenta sokugucukile pheceleti sekubitwa ngekuthi new normal itolo besingasebenzi ngalokunengi ngalendlela lesisebenza ngayo namuhla. Sesisebenza umuntu alapha ekudzeni kakhulu abe akhona kodwa kufeza labe kakufeza itolo alambi kwakho. Njengaloku nje kwakona lokuhlangana nekukhulumisana lesitawukhulumisana ngako namhla. Sikwenda ngaleyo ndlela akusiko lokuvamile sekwehlukile. Ngalawo maganyana lamafishane amadze kumbe kulabanye ngicela kwamukela thine sonke kwamukela sive lesisilandzela kwetinkhundleni tekuchumana ngekwehlukana kwamukela nekuhlonipha bonke labakhona siyabonga nini labasichubela hlelo.
Siyabonga kakhulu make Simelane, siyabonga kakhulu. Sibonga konke nje lokubaliwe kuloko lokushito ukuthi nje njengoba sihlangene lana sitawubuketa kakhulu ukuthi njengoba indlela tesebenta setishintshile nine labasita abantu nitikhanza nani senisebenza kanjani. Ngiyacela kuthatha leli thuba kusho kubabukeli ekhaya labahlangene nathi ekhaya ukuthi njengoba senibonile lehlelo litawuchutshwa both in ngawo omabili emalwimi Singisi neSiswati ngako nisabuta imibuto yenu khululekani ningayibuta ngaso Siswati niyibute nangaso Singisi. Sesicala lihlelo nje sesitawucala ke singene enkhulumeni yetfu lapho khona batawuhambela embili laba labatikhuluma tetfu namuhla in the conversation of navigating complaints in the new normal. At this juncture, I will introduce all the panelists that will be guiding this discussion for us as we look forward to this very insightful discussion from each and every one of them. I will begin to introduce the panelists, and I will start with Ngoba Velu Sugalana Ngaye Magenondumiso Simelane, who will be one of our panelists today, and I will give you a brief profile of hers. Ms. Nondumiso Simelane is the Ombudsman of Financial Services. That's her current position. She holds an MSc in Leadership and Change Management, as well as an LLB degree, as well as a BA Law degree. Ms. Simelane provides strategic direction in alternative and external dispute resolution within the non-banking financial services. She's also served in subordinate courts in Eswatini, both in civil and criminal matters. Pekeleti Abengumanji. Prior to that, she served, in the courts of Eswatini, and she did serve as a judicial officer, as a judicial officer, and she served as a she served as a judicial officer in the Anti-Corruption Commission, where she served as part of the investigation team, as well as in Royal Eswatini Police, where she did legal training. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Nondumiso Simelane. Our next panelist is from the Central Bank of Eswatini. This is Mr. Raymond Mlungisi Masimula. Mr. Masimula is currently the case manager and resolution advisor at the Central Bank of Eswatini. He holds a Bachelor of Laws, which he obtained from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. He also holds a Master's in Law, which he obtained from Stellenbosch University. He has worked as Assistant Master of the High Court, and he has also been an acting magistrate. Then he joined the Central Bank of Eswatini as the case manager and resolution advisor, as he has been stated to be. He also has lectured part-time at the University of Eswatini. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Masimula. Our next panelist is Ms. Lomkhosi Makakula. Ms. Lomkhosi Makakula is currently the head or the leader at Eswatini Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration Commission, Pekeleti Simak, and she is the executive director there. She has over 20 years experience in human resources disciplines, as well as within the financial, manufacturing, agricultural and service sectors. She is a businesswoman and an HR practitioner by orientation, and broadly her key strengths include strategy execution, monitoring and evaluation, optimization of capital strategy for sustainable human performance, performance management, operational efficiency, organizational development, change management, talent management, and human resource management. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Lomkosi Makakula. Our next panelist, Mr. Mbuso Kamete. Mr. Mbuso Kamete comes from the Financial Services Regulatory Authority, where he is the head of stakeholder and consumer affairs. He has 11 years working experience in the insurance sector, 14 years in consumer protection, consumer financial literacy, and stakeholder relations, all which he did at the FSRA. He is currently the chairperson of the Justice and Blessing Foundation, and is also the chairperson at the Worship Center, Church for All People. He holds a master's degree in business administration from the Management College of South Africa, Menkosa. He holds a BCom degree in marketing from the University of Eswatini, and he has served in various institutions as a director. These include both the Eswatini National Provident Fund and the Institute of Development Management. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mbuso Kamete. Our next panelist, Dr. Oliver Museka. Dr. Oliver Museka is a well-known customer service champion and advocate. He is the founder of and executive director of the Institute of Research Management and Development, which is registered both in Eswatini, South Africa, and South Sudan. It has satellite representations in Uganda, Tanzania, Zambia, and Malawi. He is a fellow in the Institute of Chartered Management. He's a fellow in the Chartered Institute of Customer Management. Yes. And through this, he has pioneered the customer service advocacy through what we have all come to know as the Customer Service Week, as well as the Eswatini Customer Service Excellence Awards, which I think we're all familiar with. In terms of education, Dr. Museka holds a doctorate in business administration, a certified customer service training certificate, Master of Business Administration and Strategic Management, executive development diploma in business leadership, and can I cut it there? Obituary. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Oliver Museka. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Linda Mluleki Dlamini, who currently holds the role of Consumer Protection Manager in the Eswatini Competition Commission. He is a holder of an LLB degree. He is an admitted attorney of the High Court of Eswatini, an alumni of the prestigious International Anti-Corruption Academy, the Malaysia Anti-Corruption Academy, and the Young African Leaders Initiative as well. His public duty career spans over a period of 23 years, where he's been serving the people of Eswatini. He has a wealth of professional experience in coordinating and reporting mechanisms of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. A true anti-corruption professional, but looking forward to your transition into competition. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Linda Dlamini. And lastly, but certainly not the least, our final panelist will be Ms. Milagrosa Monlane, my apologies, who is from the Eswatini Standards Authority. Ms. Monlane holds a BSc in Food Science and Technology. She is an experienced standard development specialist and does that at the Eswatini Standards Authority. She's also a trainer on how to implement and conduct internal audits for various standards, including but not limited to the ISO standards 9001, ISO 22000, SANS 330, ISO 45001, as well as others. Ms. Mondlane has served in the SADC regional level as a member of the SADC Standardization Management Committee, and thus has served as a secretary of the Eswatini National Electrotechnical Committee. Previously served as an integrated management systems administrator at the Royal Eswatini Sugar Corporation. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Milagrosa Mondlane. This, ladies and gentlemen, will stand as our panel for today as we navigate the discussion of navigating in the new normal, as they'll guide us through what their experience has been in having to work in this new normal. No one doesn't know that in the past 2 years, we were thrust into a system all of us were not familiar with. And yes, it's stabilized somewhat through the COVID-19 pandemic, and it has stabilized somewhat, but we've obviously kept what worked and then blended it with what we knew before. Hence, we call it the new normal. And so, ladies and gentlemen, in no particular order, I will ask the panelists to begin. And because I will target and hit on the organizing institutions, just to start the discussion, Mr. Dlamini, may you go and begin the discussions for the panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, program directors, for the wonderful introductions. Greetings to the viewers at home and wherever you are viewing us or watching this webinar. My sentiments will be probably on attempting to define the new normal and probably how it has affected consumers from all over the world. The term new normal can be defined as the landscape that has emerged in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, which of course has changed how people around the globe live and work. As a result, businesses and customers alike are now living in a challenging and transformative climate. It has indeed affected all sectors of economic activity in the Kingdom of Eswatini and across the world. In the industrialized world and the developing countries have been equally affected. In particular, the way we study and work. It has placed a huge demand on the need to leverage on existing technology in order to enhance effective communication and productivity in the workplace. Schools have compelled, if not influenced, parents to purchase gadgets for their school-going children in order to ensure learning continues unabated. The same schools will enter into contracts with specific mobile service providers to supply gadgets and the internet to learners, sometimes do so without consulting the parents who are the financiers of such procurements. And hence the parents have no opportunity to actually enjoy the service after having probably checked the markets if they can provide the same service at a lesser amount. And of course, in the way we do our shopping, in the advent of COVID-19, the movement of goods was affected. As a result, more consumers resorted to conducting their purchases through online platforms in order to acquire several goods and services. The increase in consumers doing their shopping online did, of course, attract scammers who, of course, began to use various malware and sophisticated computer programs to lure unsuspecting consumers to dubious online sales and transactions to their financial detriment. Of course, locally, there were some initiatives that were undertaken that we were pleased to see, where some retailers began using platforms like WhatsApp to conduct their sales. Now, as a consumer, you could just send a list of what you wanted to buy to a retailer, and they will pack the groceries for you in order to minimize person-to-person interactions. There are, of course, other factors to the new normal, not just the COVID-19 pandemic, ladies and gentlemen. In particular, the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. I know we are in Eswatini, and probably the sentiment will be, but how does it affect us? The current conflict between the Russian Federation and the Republic of Ukraine has caused serious blockages, if not disrupted supply chains, and thus affected availability of goods and thereby resulting in exponential price increases. in particular the price of wheat, which soared at least, according to a well-backed study. Locally, the impact was 2 price increases with regards to bread. We had one in March and we had to have another one in July. So this was no longer just about COVID, but it was about the ongoing conflicts. Now, of course, there is a need for the Competition Commission to position itself as an effective regulator of the competition environment. Where there is no competition, ladies and gentlemen, the consumer suffers. We need competition so that there can be innovation, so that there can be meritocracy, and so that people can be spoiled for choice in terms of accessing goods and services. I just want probably to highlight a few examples of the nature of cases that came through the Commission as a result of the new normal. We saw excessive price increases. We saw complaints regarding tying and bundling of goods and complaints regarding restrictions on bulk buying by retailers. I think we will all relate to complaints regarding restrictions on bulk buying by retailers, because when in the advent of COVID-19, people started doing what we call hoarding, where bantu baye esitolo afika athenga ema toilet paper maybe lang 50 ngoba kade lokuthi kutawuphela nini lo mkhuhlane, apakishe angithi imali yakhe la isebenzisako kude licala lekuthenga ngemali yakho. Kepha ke bokhanza itolo sethi sichabe kunene shela lomunye nalomunye kufuna khona ekuthenga. We want to commend that kind of behavior, because more people now had access to this kind of services. Kukhona ke lebe kungumkhuhlane lebe sekwendeka nako lele sikubita ngabo tying and bundling of goods. La khona ukhanza ukuthi soma business noma lese sitolo sesithi ngeke ukhone kuthola lokhu ungakathengi lokho. Lokho ukuthi kuthenga lenye impahla sekudepende ekuthenini uthengele okunye. Sekukhanzile ukuthi kuyinkinga ke lokho ikakhulu nakufika lesikhathi sekuthi lama goods noma lama services lafunwa ngilesive noma ngilo customer bekangasatholakala emarket. Bese bo soma business sebenta buhlakani ndakubita ngebuhlakani le wisdom. Lebese ikhanza ukuthi limata lama customer lengona siphilela kwavikela thina labanye. Ndawubekisa nje mhlambeni ngeexample yinye yendlela lesebenta ngayo with regards to inspections as a commission. Sinebudlelwane lobuhle nalamanye ama organizations la khona ku region njengabo Commerce bahle basibhalela basho ukuthi sekunanaku lokukhona at market lokungafanele ngabe kuyathengiswa kuthandi nje lokhu besikhuluma indzaba yokususwa kwe baby powder ukuthi iphume emashelfini ngoba itholakala ukuthi nayihlolwa ine element lekuthiwa iasbestos la khathi. Basi ke kutaba limata labantwana langabe sebagcotshiswa ngale mpuphu le. Umsebenzi wethu ke bangaze bahlabe umkhosi la labanye noma bahlabe inyanza leyo ukuthi bonani ngakini ukuthi kude yini lokho. Kuya ke letitolo siyohlola ukuthi ngabe vele kukhona yini njengoba bashito labo makhelwane noma laba lesisebenta nabo. Bese sicwayisa nesive ukuthi siva sikubalekele ukusebenzisa lokho lesekubonakala ukuthi kuyinkinga. Sikwendile ke lokhu ngalesikhathi lesisibita ngakuthi sikhathi senyu normal. Maybe kwekugcina from my side, we have also at some point in time received complaints. Ngidawenda nje example la khona umthenga esitolo se-furniture shop la kusengiswa khona i-furniture afika athenga i-furniture bese le furniture kanzi ine warranty kumbe ya 24 months noma ya 6 months noma ya 18 months. Athi nje ahleli kabili kumbe kwadlala umntwana la tukwa lo sofa kana umntwana sokungena elinyawo lwashobela lwaphumela emhlabathini. Abathe lo muntu hawu nje kwathiwa ileda lena icinile nalo mntwana una 3 years lushobela njalo elinyawo kusofa. So uyakhala ke kukhomishane webantu ukuthi angasitakala njani ngoba naku sekuvele inkinga base sitolo ke bathi thathile ngeke sikubuyise lokho. Commission ke bese iyangena nangabe sekunaloko kungaboni ngalisolinye emkhathini wemthengi naleso sitolo. Kulenza nje lengiyitekako kwakhonakala ukuthi emva kwaleto nkulumo leto bese wekunene so uyakhona kusathole sofa lomusha ngendzaba ye-intervention ye-commission. Without any further ado, I want to return to you, the program director. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Dlamini. Yes, a round of applause. Wow. Wow. I know some of us sifagile makeup, but let me just request the panelists to just wear your smile. Just smile. Mr. Dlamini, thank you so much, and to the organizers of this event, thank you so much. I am looking into the vast experiences that we have under one roof, and indeed ngumsebenzi lomkhulu even Mr. Dlamini, maybe just my comments akho regarding the following. In your submission, ngivile ukuthi uyasho ukuthi i-commission itipositione ngendlela yokuthi vele kufanele kube ne-fairness even Mr. Dlamini, you are quite aware that the new normal has taught us ukuthi sibo plan. So latitolo Mr. Dlamini, so khanza ukuthi sithenga nganakule sikubita ngemakhombo. What is your comment to that? Because vele kufuna ngiplan ukuthi kufuna kungilaste so ngidakuthola ke ngala makhombo, and la makhombo ukhanza ukuthi I-price yakhona iba ngilephasi. Secondly, your comment regarding kwenabisa lolusito lwenu ungakhanzi ukuthi njengaloko emahhovisi alambabane sensebenzela lambabane lwenabe kanganani lolusito lwenu kwenaba kufika even lonke usasho loko the ED will be taking the podium njengalokusati. It's the new normal. We are living at a time post-COVID, and congratulations to all of us. We managed to conquer COVID. Here we are, but kufuna siqhubeke siphile. So I will give the ED from CIMAC emva kuba Mr. Dlamini asa beke ema comments akhe ngemakhombo nekwenabisa lusito lwenabe nelvelonke. Mr. Dlamini.
Thank you so much, Program Director, and the viewers at home. There is nothing particularly wrong with combos, but if a business is conducting its sales in utilizing that strategy, there should also be an avenue for the same bundled goods. Goods athengiswe ngakunye ngakunye. Nangabe nje angisakhona ukuthenga ama carrots, kufuna ngiwathenge ngoba sekana anemazambane ne-beetroot, kanti mina ngiyifuni le beetroot. Leyo combo leyo ikhombo lengakavumeleki. Kepha ikhombo lengiyo ngilekuthathi kuhlanganisiwe lento kokuthathu noma kokune, but nangabe mina namhla ngidele ehlabisha angingaze sengiphocelela ukuthi ngithenge na anyanisi. Kungende kukhona noma ungiphatha kabe. So siyakhuthata kakhulu emakhombo. Nyalo nje kuyalinywa ngeke sibite ukuthi ikhombo ukuthi kunemuntu soma business maybe lothengisa emakhuba kanye kanye uthi la ke muthenga nga10 na ungathengi 10 kude likhuba lo talithola. So akusiko ukuthengisa lokukahle lokho. Bese indzaba ye reach i-commission iliqiniso ukuthi ilambabane lokuhle kenyalo ukuthi i-commission yende strategy that has just been approved by the board, and part of the strategic intervention ukuthi how do we increase our visibility, how do we make sure we intensify our presence so that nagogo lothenge ewathi general dealer lele emakhaya akhone kwathi ukuthi singachumana njani nabo. Kwekucala we want to leverage on existing technology so that khona lathi inkundleni ekuchumana kube lula ukuthi umuntu angasenda asho ukuthi awu naku sengivelelwe inkinga la sinayo inombolo le hlali available ku WhatsApp lo ngakhona yaka consumer protection la ngakhona nemuntu lobucala ukuthi akhone kuyithinza leyo nombolo akhone kuthola lolo sito we still want to move the route of suggestion boxes la tawubekwa in strategic areas where people labane ma comments on how service needs to be improved or nabane tikalo they can drop those comments and the team will obviously collect them. The third approach which we are using ngunayile sibita ngeku leverage on partnerships. Kunema institutions ahulumende la all over the country. We may not be there, but there are government institutions that are all over the country, government installations, la seva bandangema service centers, which we want to also utilize that space so that people can walk in and also get our services. Thank you so much for the question.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Dlamini. ED, before I give you the podium, may I request a round of applause for the commission. Kutsi ikhonile kwenaba nelvelonke asishayile ntandla i-commission. Le lengisho ngisimakhe ukuthi siyabonga Simak wenebe nelvelonke and siyethemba ukuthi utawuchubeka futhi wenabe vele nelvelonke. A lot has happened such that the space we are in is volatile kakhulu. So as Simak nikuphi ku the entire space nikhona noma anikho naba babukele emakhaya bafuna kuva ukuthi yini lichaza ledlalwa ngisimakhe njengaloku kunengi lokwendekile kunabo COVID sishintshe indlela yokusebenta. How do we navigate through the environment with Simak assisting us gokuthi sichubeke. ED, you have the floor.
Siyabonga kakhulu baba. Thank you very much. The commission in itself, if I may just start with context, that we are established as an alternative dispute resolution commission to assist parties within the labor space to resolve issues, particularly between employers and employees. So ma stakeholders ethu la ngona la participate kakhulu ka Simak mathathu kuye kube nguye hulumende, kube umcashi, kube sisebenzi. Now uma ubuka ukuthi ngalo COVID kwase kwende kanjani, sase sibuka uma nikhumbula kahle njengalo March kwavuka sekuthiwa kuyavalwa kusukela kuleli viki lelidango. And tsina a customer yethu or a client in our context is the employer who is here to either to put a dispute or defend a dispute, as well as the employee. You would also find EMA unions who are also representing their own employees or their own members. So gulo COVID, we had to then go and find a way of getting to a point where we could potentially do the work that we did via electronic forums or portals, which we did. However, the service itself was then limited. Ngubexele nje bona laba bo balloting, bona laba bo mediation kwase kuya suspendwa ngoba le commission yayingakade ilungiseleli kule investment yale technology. And ke uma ngingasho lokho ukuthi commission 100% subvented by our government of Eswatini, which we're most grateful for. However, we are under pressure to be able to service the client better, to find other ways of increasing income so that we are then able to then invest in better technology portals, which will enable us to then service our clients. So let me say that goal that we now have is to ensure that that becomes a permanent position, where we are able ukuthi yebo sesibuyele ku new normal, asingabuyele emva ukuthi nanglo employer ngiyabekise use speak sinelhovisi speak, but lo employee because wase so uyahamba em17 yena wase ubuyela ekhaya kaManzini, akanga tikhanzi sikathi ngagibela ibhasi asuke kaManzini ayo attenda speak, because previous to that vele bawo attenda physically. Akakhone ukuthi noma ngabe utele technology yena akavele hofisini lethu akhone ku connecta to a video conferencing, teleconferencing, Zoom, whatever the case may be, kule matter, because lo kumcoka lokuthi bakhone kuhlale bakhulumise le matter baphume nesombululo ukuthi bakwenda kanjani. Akusavumi ngoba nalo muntu uyawukhanza ukuthi wayeke la 2 months ago, so tena le mali yaloku yale speak. So mandate yethu ithi 1, our service must be accessible, 2, it must be speedy, and also we must ensure that it is fair. So in doing so, we must do so le fairness ilakuthenini le avenue yeku resolve le dispute ayingabanjelelwa ukuthi sengita imali yegibela ngiyo ehhovisi esimunye la kubekwe le dispute khona. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you, Iti. Maybe your comment, Vile, you touched on accessibility of the services. Just one question. Kunedolobha lelikhulu lensolo ningakenabel kilo. Dengifuna kuva ukuthi athine ma plans enu. Maybe it's because ne interest. Anginibone mangayani. Athini ema plans commission stona basi sigcwale nelvelonke ne kubonga the commission because as we aware ukuthi in our midst kuna naba Miss Vilagate ma 2000. Thank you ku commission ngokuthi nema 2000 sesiwabonele ngokuthi we are now having the platforms la virtual. So siyakubonga lokho. Accessibility mangane nifika nini?
Angisho babe ukuthi si commission si mandate what we call a shareholder agreement, which is an agreement between the minister and our board. Ukuthi asesizame kwenaba. Njengoba wati ke kuloko ukuthi kwenaba nako kutane madlana yakhona. Ngicale ngikusho in my previous question ukuthi lelikhiki lincane. Sisabuka ke indlela lesingakhona kwenaba ngayo njengoba ashido umnakethu lapha waka Competition Commission ngokuthi sibuka lama partners. So collaboration is a key thing to us. We're still looking at ways to collaborate. Uma ngabe ngiyabekisa siyekhulumisa Minister of Labour ukuthi uma ngabe kukhona labakhona khona bona sisakhulumisana ukuthi kupossible yini kupossible kangakanani, so that singahambisi sonke siyobhadala rent, sonke sinasibhadala le rent siphinze sibhadale emaphepha kanti ukuba sonke sicontributor kule office lesilisheshako kuba ngcono. Njoba ubonile nje mandi nagesi sebaqalile bayakwenda, and that is commended because it is a route. The future of work actually was determined a while back. Collaboration so yes, I can't give you an exact date because kuhambelana nekuthi nale mali sibe nayo ile kwenaba, but sivele sesiyakhulumisana siyasebenzisana lehovisi la Ombudsman ngiyabekisa kuze kuthi sikhone kwenabela etindzaweni leti 10. si kutse madude sitabe sikunike answer.
Sibonge kakhulu, Mag. As a follow-up question, then you made a very important point, Gutsi. One of the issues was, Gutsi, you were not ready technologically, and that's what you're working on. Niyabuga yini, perhaps, Gutsi, as you ready yourself technologically, nago kutawusita to bridge the divide and the gap, lela ningafiki khona. Njengoba nisho ukuthi you'll cooperate mhlawumbe move so tawukhona ke office ntsite lelisebenzisana nalo asale eve asitakala noma nide lo office.
Liqinisa lelo ngicela nje kucala ngana point le ku bridge the gap. Uyathi ukuthi kwayona le technology as much as bantu labaningi banayo le cell phone ngiyabekisa ubuta ukuthi bangakhe labanale access to le data. So we can't take away the actual office. Ngoba ulomunye utawukhanza kumele ulalogibelwa le bus ayele kutaba cheaper kunalokuthana le data. Then of course network coverage is another issue. But also the technology bese seyivula le gap between those that can and those that cannot. So we have a lot of things to balance in terms of just the economic levels of people that we service, and most of them are at the bottom. So we also have to balance it in Valeto. Yes, see, technology is great. Technology enables quite a number of things. Sikubukile lokho ukuthi le investment siyenda kanjani leyo. Njengoba bengisho ukuthi lo muntu akakhona ukuthi noma analo 10 amalangeni wekufika eMangayana. Akamana afikele la tawufika khanzela technology khona. So kumcoka ukuthi organization thina asikhone kubhadalela lama services lawo kuze lo muntu lo indigent akhone kufika afika isebenzisa. So yes, we intend to do that. We intend to assist in bridging that gap so that umuntu angakhona ukuthola different ways of accessing our service. Sitokhona ukuthi bantu bakhone ngoba njoba ngisho the most important thing is, can we resolve the dispute? And at conciliation level, where sisakhulumisana singakafiki lapho wena usite awuyenti ukuthi kunjani sekuze kuphuma sijubo lesengeke lomunye asakhona kwenda lutho ngaso. Siyabonga.
Thank you, ED. Malini kuvula file ga simak ngoba siyathi ukuthi tindo tonke seta bita tatula nangifuna I service ga simak malini kuvula file nekuthi mhlambe usho lo ukuthi I commission senabe yaba kuwaphe emadolobha. Thank you.
Ngiyabonga baba umcoka lo mbuzo lo butako. I commission established in section 62 we Industrial Relations Act, and we offer a free service. So kude imali yevula lifayela. Kude nje imali yevula lifayela lokusho ukuthi noma ngangibani lo ne dispute angidawuconzisa nje ukuthi le ndeke within 18 months of when you knew the dispute arose angeta kasima kabuya ato vula lifayela. Si benchmark ne ILO kune convention lekhulumisa I social justice lehambelana ne dispute resolution. Ngiyoke lele sihambelana nayo levele ithi asikhona kucharge. We offer a free service. Kodwa ke akhona ama services ikhona I-IR Act yazivumela ukuthi khona ama services la fana singabhadalisa khona. Kodwa le file lona khohlwa asikude lese asikucharge uyabuya nje uhlale phansi usitshela inkinga yakho si make sure ukuthi konke lekudzingeka kokukhona sikugcwalisise uhamba ubekela nemcashi ukuthi sowufakile I dispute noma sona lesebenzi nangabe ngisona lo umcashi abeke dispute ngayo bese ke sesiyachubeka baba kwenaba kwethu ngemusa wale minyaka leng22 so le commission yabakhona. We've got 2 what we call regional offices or main offices Gamanzini silapha ngasemzimnene kune complex lapho kune regional office yethu la imbabane which we call our inner city office ilapha ngaka railway bese mbabane unaka li office lesespiki ngaka town council Sesinemahhovisi ke lang 3 lakanawalo lihhovisi lakaManzini. Linye lisenhlangano, linye lisesteki, linye liseSimunye. Njoba ubona ke babe njoba bowubuda ngamankayana kunabuhleni. Nabuhleni uyakhula, ukhula masinyane. Dinzawo ke lesisibuka ukuthi maybe sesingamane senabele kito kutobadudane le service. Siyabonga.
A round of applause. Mr. Kametse, from FSRA. It's now post-COVID. COVID has taught us a number of things. FSRA, utsini, nema trends, lakona, then after you, the good doctor, stawbese siyamniketa, but Mr. Kametse, you have the floor.
Siyabonga Mr. Mbuli, sivusele, sibonge kulabo laba organizele hlelo lesikulo namuhla. Ngidawukhuluma kafishane nje la ke sibe bathe nga FSRA. Ngokuqala nje ngicale kusho ukuthi FSRA kulehhovisi le umsebenzi walo ukuqondzisa kusebenta kwetinkampani netinhlangano leti sebenzisa imali tebantu. Nangabe nje uyinhlangano uthatha imali kubantu kanti awusilolibhange noma inkampani. FSRA ke uye bese uyangena ukuqondzisa ukuthi usebenza ngendlela lengiyo yini uyawulandzela umthetho. Sizathu ke seku regulator njengoba lo kwentiwa ngeFSRA ku regulator. Sizathu lesikhulu nje kunato tonke izathu ngiloku protector noma kuvikela ema-customer aleyo organization. Ngabe uyi-insurance company, ngabe usikhwama semhlala phasi, ngabe uyi-investment advisor. FSRA uya-regulator with the sole purpose yokuthi kuvikeleke lapho laba ma-stakeholders kulo msebenzi wakho. Asibonge lokuthi namhla sizokhuluma ngeligama elithi new normal. New normal ligama leliqhamuke nyalo ngesikhathi se-COVID. I think some of us have still seen pandemics. Maybe it's a word that actually defines how severe COVID was, because COVID washintsha lokunengi. Sikubonile kushintsha ke kule financial services industry. Ngokuqala nje kube nema regulations lesiwatiko sonke la impose ama restrictions in terms of ukuthi inkampani zethu njani. Kwaphinze futhi bona lawo malozana aphinze futhi aba nema restrictions in terms of ukuthi ema customer asa accessa njani toilet inkampani dawo. Phinze futhi lokwaba more evident nje nokwaba kuthi ngoba phela abantu bebashona ngeCovid wasehulumende sokhokha ema regulations lathi bantu kufanele ukuthi bangcwatshwe within 3 days. Lokho kwawathinze ama customer kakhulu, and lo obvious nalo kwathi ukuthi jump into the space ngokuthi livele licele laba letinkampani letibhadala ema funeral claims nento etinjalo ukuthi nato sale vele tenyusa lizinga lekuthi akhona ema claims ukuthi abhadaleke at least within 24 hours angapheli lo 3 days ukuze abantu batokhona kunqwaba. Kunengelo lokwendekile vele nekuthi ke lesikubonile after iCovid kube ngilokuthi kube na increase kuma scams. People started to devise certain means of actually generating money ngekuthi bascam abantu, and that was very serious, and we continue to deal with them as scams. But njengesikhathi se-COVID vele bekukhona lokuthi people became more vulnerable, and the issue of access and affordability, because we all know ukuthi ngesikhathi se-COVID people lost their jobs, and lokunye lokwendeka some were even made to accept reduced salaries. So ngekwenza njalo sabona a high rate of surrender yema business abo nangabe kanti umuntu bekane insurance policy so forced ukuthi I surrender because of affordability. Ukhanze kusilo munye bekane certain product I investor somewhere but because akasakhona sekufuna a withdraw. So ke the obviously has been dealing with them complaints that arises from those scenarios where you find ukuthi sekunema early withdrawals and lo muntu akasa understand ukuthi bengisolo ngibhadala because sekune covid nasengithi ngiya withdraw now sekunema penalties that makes me lose a significant portion of my investment. So into letinjalo kanze ukuthi ke iCovid futhi yende ukuthi bantu noma ngabe ufuna noma bongafuni sekufuna uyifunze technology because those are the sekumlawo alternative channels of service that are provided ngilama entities. So ke sekufuna ukuthi nawe sale uba semshoveni ukuthi now so in line with the technology but not everybody is technologically savvy and as kwendeka lokho khanza ukuthi labanye basala ngemuva labanye vele they end up being left in the play bagcine bangasakhoni ukuthi ba participate as they would have participated nangabe beyingekho iCovid. So ke those are the things lesicabanga ukuthi tiwa affectile ema customer kakhulu nalama alternative means ukuthi nyalo awusayi sekufuna ukuthi udile ne client business relationships sekufuna ukuthi ibe at arm's length sekusebenta bo WhatsApp njengoba akhulumile nje lo munye sekusebenta virtual sekusebenta that and that it has actually affected a lot of a business. Now ke ma entities nawo leswa regulator now abe affected because you'll find ukuthi some business lines vele agcina angasa perform because people abasakhona ku participate in that kind of a business. So nema liquidity issues ke now abe indzaba lenkulu nasingabekisa nje ngama cooperatives ukuthi nangabe a huge number of people sebasibona eyasakhona sesiyaphuma kule co-op ukhanze ukuthi le co-op ayisakhona kumatcha le demand yalabantu labaphuma because phela imali ye co-op ufuna ukuthi ihambe chronologically lenye njalo isakweledwa abantu kuplanwe ukuthi itawubuya ngesikhathi bakhona ukuthi labo labaphuma lebangeke baphume all at once but because sekunale covid sekwendeka at once nalama claims nawo they come asamanengi at once nako it poses pressure kulama entities sekufanele usabhabhadale ama claims lamanengi in a short space of time. Ngicabanga singiloko lengakungeta ke sengigcina maybe kungaba kuveta njena ukuthi luhlobo lwema complaints lesidibana nalo sing FSRA ikakhulukati kuba ngema complaints lesengikhulume ngawo ngilokuthi ema complaints that arise from early withdrawals lokunye ama complaints when we talk about kuboleka kwetimali kuba ngilokuthathwa kwema IDs nema bank cards ukhanze ukuthi labo lababolekisa imali sebatawuthi letha icard lakho lasebhange ne-ID ihlale la kimi kuze utokhona kubhadala lesikweleti. So that is it's been very prevalent and FSRA is just doing everything it can to actually sensitize people ukuthi vele this is illegal to do. Khona lapho ekuboleka kananene bese kuba nalama variations kwanze ukuthi maybe nasayina i-contract ye-loan savumelana nazo ngizobhadala 500 but sangayikhulumi lento double collection fee nani kwanze ukuthi nase iqhamuka sengigcina sengibhadala 700 sekubala yonke le mali. So ke people kwanze ukuthi sekuba nema complaints lafika kanjalo. So FSRA ke uya resolve ama complaints though yena angawa resolve njengo Ombudsman of Financial Services. FSRA yena uresolve na kulesithi ngema supervisory complaints lawa la arise in the course of the business kusilabantu basasebenzisana kusengabi ne dispute. Nase kune dispute is when the entity noma ke leyo business seyivele ithethe sinqumo ukuthi ngeke sikubhadale wena le claim yakho. Sekudingeka umlota wena i-judgment. Those claims are then referred to ehhovisini lamuli wetindzaba tetimali. Ngicabanga ukuthi ngisho kahle. Yeah. Lawa ke latilwa nge-FSRA ngilawa ekuthi hey le ngaphani yami yebo ngiseselunga but asasebenzisani kahle khona lapha singasaphathani kahle khona noma ke le ngaphani sekune undesirable practices lesewendako it's in the course of the business kusengehlukana kusengaqashana but kusakuhamba nje na kuba netinkinga lomnye njalo kumbe usilunga lesikhwama semhlala phansi akayitholi information uba ngifuna kubona phela ukuthi statement sami sithini sisengenamalini sola bamnike FSRA bese uyaqhamuka ke so uya intervene ukuthi mnikeni le statement sakhe lo muntu kulungelo lakhe ngicela ukugcina lapho program director. Thank you so much.
Mr. Kametse, a round of applause. Mr. Kametse, thank you for your presentation, and may I take this time to once again to our viewers at home or our online viewers. We're still going through a webinar yethu yemnyaka wa 2022 where we are tackling a topic, let's see, emerging consumer complaints and trends in the new normal. La si ne panel lesnayo si qhamuka FSRA Ombudsman of Financial Services, CMAC, CBE Ombudsman, IRDM, SWASA and Competition Commission, and also to encourage our viewers labo labanema comments nema questions labanawo bangawa poster stokhona ukuthi i-panel ikhona kusi imphendvulela leyo mibuto. Mr. Kametse, back to you. Say a question le solo ikona accessibility sonke silamba bani kansive sile makhaya wendani FSRA kufinyelela le makhaya neku njengaloku ushido ukuthi ni regulator kunema entities then sekuna the clients or the consumers. How do you as FSRA ensure ukuthi kune balance nami ngetubona ukuthi ayilona ngisondonzima unemali FSRA ngathi so regulator so favor yena nana nathi sibantu lephasi give us the comfort kwekuthi uma ngifuna lusito ka FSRA ifairness ikhona whether ngi giant in the industry or whether ngilapha phasi nje ngifuna lusito neyokuthi lusito lwenu njengaloku uvetile lokuvula lifayela lekini ninako yini nalokuthi lingimalini lifayela Mr. Kametse.
Siyabonga program director, siphinde sibonge kubabukeli emakhaya. Kuphendula lo mbuto nje nakafishane angiqale ngale yokugcina ukuthi cha ama services a FSRA are free. Nangabe unilethe isikhalo sakho nje na kude ngisho sendle sikubida yena. Kuyakudependa ngale nature yale complaint yakho ukuthi kanjani. Lenye iziswe siyisothe ngaleso sikhathi ukuthi sithathe icingo sishaya leyo ngaphana ukuthi hey nanga umuntu uyakhala kwanze ukuthi seyasotheka masinyane lenye ke idinga ukuthi kumbe njalo kubhalwe incwadi ekhulunyiswane nangabe basehlula njalo sibendlulisela ka ombudsman. Kuthi ke sifika njani emakhaya? Inhlanhla lembi FSRA unelo office linye lilambabane. Siyayenda imidamo yokufika emakhaya ngokuthi lokho lesikufundisako sensitize abantu sikukhuluma eredweni kuze abantu batokuva nalo sekhaya athi ukuthi ilungelo lakhe lithini nangabe sanenkinga afanele ukuthi aye kuphi. Sinehlelo ka VOC lungena ngabo lesithathu nga12 emini. Siphindze futhi ke sibe naloko kwekuqhumana lekujwayelekile bo Facebook, sibe nabo Instagram lalapho nakhona sikhuluma kabanti ngelusito bantu labangalithola ka FSRA nekuthi nje nangabe uli customer noma uyi consumer athini emalungelo akho nekufundisa ngalama products ngoba phela ama financial services are complex and they keep on changing from time to time, some because of technology in the way la offerishwa ngayo. Kwanze ukuthi kumuntu lo ngadi ugcina vele angathi lo sivele uthengane vele kutamsita kuphi and like it's something vele edzinga ukuthi ifundiswe kanjalo njalo. Sisho noma ngiphendule konke nembuto wakho ngathi khona wesithathu lengushile emakhaya. Okay,
Thank you.
Fairness angiphendule fairness. Okay, one of my objectives at FSRA is to ensure fairness ne orderliness yema businesses business conduct. Lokusho ukuthi FSRA in the manner la regulator ngayo uyabuka lokuthi there is fair competition kulama entities leswa regulator ko. Number 2, consumers are protected in whatever product offering. Nangabe nje ulethi product yakho ukuthi ngidawubekisa ngithi ase ngibekise ngithi angiphindze ngibekise ngeinsurance. Uletha iproduct yakho usindathenza ngeproduct naye. The first thing that FSRA will do ukuthi consumers are protected kanganani kule product yakho lo njana lo ilethako. Thanks.
Thank you, Babe Gamete. Just as a follow-up question as well, la ukhulumile ukuthi nina nidila ne complaint iseseku supervisory level nifuna kakhulu futhi fairness. Ngiyadibuta nje ukuthi la ngale sikhathi kutawufika nang new normal kufika ngesikhathi lapho khona ushito ukuthi kuze kwakhanzakala ukuthi labanye sekufanele bakhiphe imvo tabo singakafika isikhathi nemabhizinisi nawo sekabuke ukuthi naku nathi sesitawu dikhanza seside ema customer. Ngiyadibuta nje ukuthi ngalokuthi customer nale business liba na contract thide kuba nazivumelwane thide nani nisebenta ngemthetho nikhanzile yini ukuthi ngalesikhathi kukhanza ukuthi ngiloyo sekufanele ende lawo ma compromises ukuthi okay sidikhanza mina ngingile consumer ngistretchekile nami ngingibusiness ngachubeka ngacinisa nami ngidawulahlekelwa ngo nikhanzileni ukuthi niyakhona kusita lapha ekutheni kubane kukhulunyiswane kucuke tinvo just for le period ngoba besibuka lokuthi covid vele utawundlula kukhona yini le ntikhanze kunendekela kulelo hlangothi.
Okay, siyabonga program director. Kuphendula lo mbuto leyo ngathi njena lokunye lokwendiwe ngeFSRA nakufika iCovid nga2020 ngoba yethuse wonke umuntu. FSRA uissuishe noma ke ukhiphe lesithi ngema COVID guidelines. Lokube luhlelo loluleka labo soma business ukuthi kulesimo lesi bangenda kanjani. Kwekuqala belubakhuthatha ukuthi ababuketa indlela noma ama strategies latawenda ukuthi ma business aqhubeke abantu basitakale. Kwesibili bekuthi abasebende close collaboration with them customer abo. Lokufaka ekhathi kwenda ema consideration lafaka ekhathi ukuthi nangabe umuntu kumbe bekufanele kusabhadale njalo ngenyanga abamnike phela leyo holiday ukuthi vele simo asilungi
ngabekisa njengema cooperatives ukuthi enhlanganweni yakho FSRA owagusade ma coop ukuthi nangayebo sowubolekile ayifane phela ikunike leyo sigajana sekuphefumula ukuthi simo asilungi nawo onke nje amabhizinisi kufanele sithi ngoba phela kunebudlelwane between the customer nale business and umsebenzi wa FSRA awusuwe ukuthi uqedze lo budlelwane ukuthi kube nekusebenzisana kahle and we want ama-business ukuthi appreciate ukuthi the difficulty lebaye experienceako bona as businesses is the same difficulty they experience on their customer, so there should be that close collaboration and certain consideration between the parties.
Thank you, Mr. Kamete. A question directed to all panelists. We know we are living at a time post-COVID. Le malikude kunetinkhulumo la ngaphandle leti yetikhulume ngabo toll free kokuthi ninawo yini tinombolo la ngishaya khona mahala kude ngilokhona kubeka ngoba khanza ukuthi ngalesinye isikhathi sengisele na 2 minutes ngiyashaya ngiyajubeka ngisakhona lokuyibeka nangabe kude the toll free lines athi nema plans ED a question directed to you from one of our viewers. Utsi, thank you for the presentation so far. What measures have CIMAC put in place so far to ensure that its branding reaches everyone, including those who are less sophisticated in the most rural areas? ED, it's directed to you.
Sinemsebenzi nyalo weku extender le branding ngingakhuluma nge-shareholder compact lokho ukuthi sibuke ukuthi siyanjani kuleto tindzawo lapho kukhashane khona. One of our mandates, or rather one of the agreements that the board has made with the minister ukuthi fanele sihambe siyokhulumisa abantu etinkhundleni silungiselela kona babe kuthi siye letinkhundleni siyokhulumisa labantu ngenza ama services aka CIMAC nakuma kuyenda kunema cultural events lesiye kiwo nakhona sesida ucala sibeke letafula la CIMAC sito khona ukuthi sisonzele kubantu batokhona kuthola lo sito naloku understand ukuthi yena lo CIMAC njengoba bobuda nje ukuthi ngimalini kuvula file lo myuta uyengwa ngilomunye asuka hlale phasi kanti sinzaba yakhe besingamlekelela. Siyabonga.
Thank you. There is another question directed to you, but for now, I will give the good doctor an opportunity. Doctor, we are living at a time post-COVID, quite a number of emerging trends. As an institution, I hope you are well placed in as far as research is concerned. What are you doing as an institution in as far as research is concerned to guide these captains of industry so that in the future you might have in collaboration with them programs. Let me make an example. We have a number of alternative dispute resolution bodies present here. Do you have plans or do you have programs in place to inform the ADR function, and maybe also the research that you are doing as an institution in as far as dispute resolution is concerned, and maybe nikaidwa also with the new normal, because say hlukile indlela lesiphila ngayo namhla nayitolo. COVID usifundisela okunengi, and the political unrest tonke lokho kusifundise tintfo letinengi. So as an institution nikuphi in the whole picture?
Hello. Yeah. Thank you, Program Director, for an opportunity. Angiqale nguveta lokho ukuthi COVID ukhona la kwendile lokuhle. COVID usifundise umgcoka bekhasimende. The importance of a customer was brought forward by COVID. We know we have a traditional saying that the customer is a king. It had faded or eroded. But when COVID came in, it made us realize the importance of a customer. Because with most businesses, they were looking forward to that one customer to walk in order for them to make a sale. We're coming from a period where we're looking forward to a customer to become a repeat customer, and move from being a repeat customer to a loyal customer, and move from being a loyal customer to an advocate. One that is going to tell others out there about products and services. So what has that done? Customer centric, in the sense that most companies now they understood that there's need to discuss customer service at the highest level of decision making in organizations. Ngijatshusana lokho ukuthi si move from customer service to customer experience. Singabuka muva bewuthi mawune sikhalo ungena in any organization bawukhombe kona nebathi asoye lapha ka customer service. So COVID usifundise lokho ukuthi ufuna siwaphathe kahle lamakhasimende kuze atobe yakusasa. So we moved from being reactive, which is customer service, and we moved into a platform of being proactive, which is customer experience, where organizations sit down in the absence of the customer and think on behalf of the customer, be empathetic, come up with strategies that they come up with, which when a customer is in touch with their products or services, comes up feeling satisfied, and with that testimony to tell others to come through. So that is another migration that we have seen through a period year COVID. I would also want to state that ngiyaiva le new normal, but the new normal brought in understanding customers, because customers, they also understood that companies were struggling. But that honeymoon phase is over. Now customers are expecting full experiences from organization. We are now post-COVID, so we saw makeshift teams being built up by companies in order to service the customers. But it has also brought a customer that is that understands what they want and how they want it. You get it? So we now walk into any institutions understanding what we want. We know exactly what we want. But when we get there, we are not so particular about the product, because the product and service is almost the same. If people are in insurance, the product is almost the same. If people are selling soap, the product is almost the same, because there's standardization of the products. But how do I feel when I get in touch with your product? What is the impact of me interacting with your product? That's where we are. So we have seen quite a number of things that happen, maybe attributed to COVID-19. We saw companies rapidly migrating to technology, with most companies using prototypes. It was work on the go, as implementing along the way as we go on. So we saw a lot of that happening. Even now, if you look around, we still see a lot of prototypes that are coming in, which are then also coming to issues of disputes with customers, because we are seeing a mad rush into technology, where people have not made adequate research on the client's needs. They are just implementing technology, indicating that they've got platforms that can be used. Once WhatsApp, once Facebook, but abekho labantu to respond to the customers. We've seen that happening. Technology has been used. Yes, technology is good, but are the platforms that we have implemented or that we have introduced, are we using the platforms? That becomes the question, because the thing would be, if we don't contact an organization, Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, no LinkedIn, wherever you've said you are available, I expect to get uniform service. We also expect the organization to be uniform in terms of response. So you see, migration we moved from an issue of call centers to contact centers, where it's no longer only about calls, but it's about introducing so many platforms where people can get in touch with us and servicing all those platforms. What we've seen again is, because most of these issues that have been brought up are prototypes, the organizations themselves, they are not ready, some of them, to use the platforms that they are implementing. Their own people are not aware of certain features on their own platforms. They cannot explain the platforms that they are being introduced by organizations, let alone creating awareness to educate the public on the platforms that are being used. We've seen with concern where banks have implemented ATM deposits, but still the people that are banking with the same bank are not aware that there's an ATM outside that accept cash. You still see people queuing in a bank. So we also in that space where organizations have adapted to technology, but they themselves, one, they have not trained their own staff on how to use the platforms that they've introduced. Two, they have not gone back to the client to explain to customer and this is how we can do things. So that is one thing that we've seen. We've also seen something that came with the new normal. It created a customer lelivila lapha kufunza tinfo, but lelifuna kubuka and make a decision. So we've migrated from a situation whereby people read through information, but we are in a situation whereby people want to see and they purchase. Hence the emergence of platforms like TikTok, where you see and then you make a decision. So we've seen organizations also going into that platform, into that space, because entertainment has been twinned with sales and marketing. It has been twinned with experience, where people are using these social media platforms to share their experiences. So it's quite a number of things that we've seen. We also, on the part of customers, we have seen with an appreciation a level of ignorance from customers, because we're coming from a period where we have been comfortable with a certain way of being serviced. So even if organizations are becoming techno-savvy, they're bringing in new technologies and so on, we still have people that rely on traditional methods and that believe in that face-to-face interaction and one-on-one touch. I indicated the issue of banks. We still, not just to blame the banks, we still have people that believe that if I'm going to bank my money, someone, I'm not satisfied. So it's quite a number of things that we have seen and so on. And to answer your question in terms of what we are doing in collaboration and so on, I am so glad of this platform for being on this platform. This is my second time and second year. It's a commendable initiative that the Ombuds and the Commission has come up with. It is our wish and desire to have more platforms of this nature, where we do a lot of training, a lot of awareness. Excellence itself is an art that is won by habituation and training. We need to make it a habit to exercise excellence. And it's habituation and training. So what we do is annually we come up with conferences, customer experience conferences. Like this year we're speaking to issues of technology. We are coming up with a digitized a conference themed digitized customer experience, where we have invited organizations locally whom we see that they have done a lot in the technology space to come and share their experiences. What have they done? How have they done it? What challenges did they face with other organizations? We have invited international speakers to also come and bring us a flair of what's happening from their perspective in different countries. What is it that we can borrow from there? And because some organizations are still struggling to navigate between the traditional way of doing things and the new way of doing things, we're also bringing a speaker from an organization development perspective to come and do that. Just outside with Ms. Mondlane, we're speaking to a new standard that talks to customer service, saying we need to have a serious drive of awareness and creating awareness on the standards, which is going to make it easy, because you see we pride in the sense that we've pushed the issue of the customer service week, and if you look around, most organizations there is just customer service week, but we want it to be beyond the first week of October. Ungabi into ukuthi siprepare nje ngoba is first week of October sale muva ngeke sibonakale. So we want it to be a culture. Like I indicated to say, we've moved from the aspect of customer service department to customer experience. Customer experience becomes a culture of a way of doing things. So the other thing that we are doing is we've been working as a committee on voluntary basis, but we are looking forward to expanding the pool of people that we work with. We are looking forward to the formation of an association for customer service professionals, which is going to include everyone who's in the customer service space. We know it's a space that has been hijacked by PR and marketing, but it's a unique space on its own. So we are working towards creation of an association for customer service professionals that will give us a platform where we can discuss issues to do with customer service, where we raise alarm if we get any message or notification of where things are not going on well. We raise through the platform to say, you get it? And not only that, are you having a challenge as professionals in this space? How best can we help each other to address this? Thank you so much for the platform.
Thank you, Doctor. Maybe because you have touched on standards, Ms. Mondlane, may I give you the platform to take us through any relevant standards. I think you are quite aware that we are celebrating customer service. Please do mention if there are standards that touch to customer service and other standards that are relevant. Then after, then I will give the Ombudsman the opportunity to take us through. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mbuli. Am I audible? Thank you, Program Director. Good day to our listeners.
As introduced, I'm Mila Cross-Samandlani from the Standards Authority. Yeah, it's nice to be here. Sikhuluma ngendaba yema consumers. As Dr. Oliver has mentioned, as a standards body, we did work with quite a number of organizations in developing a couple number of standards that are touching on what we are here about this today. We have developed standards that talk to specifically handling of complaints. Because tingabane emakhasimende ayeta tokhala ngokuthi yathi mina ngithenge ini nangikuthengile akukangijabulisi lana la, but letingabane tide indlela yokuthi how do you resolve those complaints and such the customer seliyahamba li dissatisfied, so lose a business. And khona lesinye standard lesibuke nangema esteemed organizations now la resolve ema disputes. It's a guideline for dispute resolution providers. Because what do I expect? Nangabe ngihambile ngeke ombudsman, what do they have to do? Yini ama requirements ekufuneka bawameet nangile ngihambe nenkinga yami. Because sesiyahlulana thina nalo sehamba iyangale. So there's a standard that talks to one. And but majorly for nje in general nje kune ISO 9001, which is a quality management system standard that talks to saying as umuntu we business la delikhasimende lakho, what are their needs? What are their expectations? Because as a standards body, we have seen quite, especially with the COVID era, hey, we've seen such an increase in production of products. Lanema claims, lati logo kwenda logo. One thing that COVID came out last sitanga guti, bantu seba health conscious. Umuntu worried nguti ngidla ini kung impacta kanjani. And such but for the opportunity to how nama senga can I concoction yami tawusitangani. But the big question is this product safe? Can I take it? And bantu bafigile kaswasa batathi swasa ngifuna ngenisa lokho esitolo but abakuthathi ngithi ngaliphawuleni. Maswati lamadle swasa nasi certifier angesikhona ko certifier ekhaya lemuntu. Sitting up formal structures, sitting up i-process yakho ibe transparent, ibe documented. Kuze ngoba lama standards nawa implement kahle ngaphaneni yakho ayakusita ukuthi ube nale consistency. Dr. Oliver here is talking about fairness, we are talking about repetitive results. Kuthi nangabe ngiye ehhovisi la FSR lelsembabane na lelsestake, I must get the same service because it has been standardized. So what we are seeing as a standards board is bantu bayasebenda nje tindlela tabo abaka document akusiko traceable lokunye, hence bese kuvela lenzaba yani yema complaints. Ukhona Mr. Mkhosila during COVID kuvele ukuthi banifuneka basebenda, production must continue, but as production continues umqashi unensaya lethi make sure the environment is safe for me to work. Then that talks to you ukuthi provided the relevant equipment or things that there was a standard that was developed during COVID, ISO 45005, which is a specification le guide umqashi ukuthi umake kanjani ukuthi bantu basebende baphephile. And we also had another one for occupational health and safety management. As a sebenza asiphephe emsebenzini ngoba if lama systems angekho in place ngikho bese kuvusa lama complaints sekuyakhala umqashi nesebenzi abasaboni ngaliso linye uyabona nyalo lesikubonako nje lokukhona is the influx of importation of substandard products into the country, which is one key factor. I think it's the lack or inadequate regulation of some products in Eswatini. Lapho khona timfo nje diyangena, and that is a problem because now we are moving into green energy, to solar. Angene panels, but this panels meeting the standards. And nagangena, that then ayasebenda, they're creating e-waste. Then it goes back to government. Nagangena kudla loku substandard. My colleague lana bekakhuluma ngefair competition yokuthi penetrate sonke esilengane ama standards lokumnanzi ngako for everyone. Kuthi wena umncane ngisomabhizinisi lemncane noma umkhulu kuyafana because the impact is the same. na yini vele kufuneka emaswati lamatla i-understand ngoba silesikhuthi ngathi lama standards alabo lasebakhulakhulile bosomabhizinisi labakhulu kanti no standard is for everyone nasese nje document abhala ukuthi lokhu kwenda njani everyone must write because sifuna lokho sibe nale traceability so akhona program director nje ama-standards enqumbi in different sectors la sitako aguide emaswati ukuthi lokhu ukwenda njani. And EMA standards are voluntary. That's also one thing le key. Lengifuna kuyisho ukuthi akakuphoceleli. EMA standards you use them as best practice. However, bo regulator they can by referencing them emthethweni lapho ke sekayakuphocelela lawo ma standards usale uwalandzela uwasebenzise ngendlela. So sikubonile nje in the new normal vele siyayibona the increase of production of so many products nalama claims la inkinga ngoba ngiyalo nje currently our quality assurance manager was dealing with another business person ufuna ku certify and ngeke sibeke liphawu and then leside bufakazi bayo. Unfortunately, the world that we're living in, God said, but the world demands evidence. And for us to put a mark to certify a product, we must have evidence. That is where we need that collaboration with lamanyama organizations that have access to labs and research, so that that evidence is no lumkhiqido wakho lo or lamafutha akho lawo ayakwenda vele lokho claim ukuthi ayakwenda. Thank you.
Swasa babukele emakhaya nakutotonke tindzawo lolocetsa kutfula inkulumo yakhe ngiswasa ingapane lebuke temazinga ekhaya even maybe your comment ngokuthi ngivile usho ukuthi standards are for everyone yakusikuthi tingapane letinkulu but etusonke you are quite aware that even our government is encouraging us small scale, medium scale, large scale. Kunala maswati la lale makhaya ngidilimele matamatis ami ngifuna nami kuthepha into the market letinkulu ngikhicita libisi uphiswasa noma nani cishe ngini dokotela a round of applause. The last time I checked beninalo lo office mangayane. Thank you. Thank you. Cishe ngwe wetwa la kule panel lo nabele dolobheni lelikhulu. So lama standards abani nekwekuthi ningiswasa nendani lokunaba nelive kuyofundzisa lemakhaya ukuthi nami ngingisoma business lomncane ngenda lokho lokuncane nivele ningifundzise so that ngidokhona kuthepha into the market letinkulu. After that Ombudsman of Financial Services you will have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mbuli, for your question. Seeing ngapani ya hulumende, one also our mandate is to provide e-training yalama standards. But le training ngelesienda ngolapho khona uyafunza bese ubhala i-exam to check i-understanding lapho khona bese uthola certificate lungabe uyasebenzisa. But lokunye lesekwendako kungiswasa kuze ukuthi senabe making sure ukuthi emaswati ayade ngemazinga siyasebenzisana netinkampani inqumbi lapho khona nabane like njengobekisa recently we had collaboration with the Taiwan Technical Mission lapho khona bebahamba bafundzisa abantu ngebhizinisi bebangashiyi emuva nathi bese sibenzisana nabo siyaya bayabhala e-office la executive director bamcele Swasa ukuthi Swasa yathi singabe sikhulumisana tindzaba nati ningeta yini nitokhuluma indaba temazinga. So we are available for that and we don't charge. So we willingly do that. Siyeta kuwe la ubite khona abantu sitobafundisa ngetindzaba temazinga. Ema-standards akhona ayathengeka futhi kaSwasa abantu bakhona kodwa bawathenga at a very reasonable price. Thank you.
Thank you. Ayathengeka and at a very reasonable price. Ombudsman of Financial Services. In the next 5 minutes, please. The new normal is here. The Ombudsman of Financial Services is here. In the next 5 minutes, please do, so that I can give the Ombudsman CBE his 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mnumzane facilitator and esteemed facilitators nobabili and panelists. Ngicela nje ukuthi ngigijime ngisho ukuthi la khona le office lemlamulo tindzaba tetimali lilamla khona ngitotonke letinhlangothi letilawulwa yi-FSRA. Just want to go quickly to that, and then responding to some of the questions that you posed to the other panelists. Lengine kukholwa lokho ukuthi kutaba mcoka ukuthi sive sikhone kukwati macondzana nalelethu lo office sithini. Kwekucala nje kwekuthi lungumalini sito lolutholakala lapha ekhaya kungumalini kuvula alifayela akusito tindleko ngaphandle nje kwekuthi tindleko tekwekuthi njengaloku unakile kulabanyenti bethu lokusila nathi lo office lethu liseselamba bane kuphela. So kutaba tindleko tekwekuthi uma loku ngikona kusedutane kuwe ukuthi ude kwekuthi nje ude office lethu te uthola liform lethu ngoba lokufaka sikhalo kwakho kumela ukuthi ugcwalise liform likhona ngeSiswati nangesilungu. Kodwa ke lesikwendile nalesi sakhona ukuqinisa nesikuthi sikwende kube kahle kakhulu sisemkhankasweni wekuthi ebudlelwaneni bethu lesinabo nelo office lalo lamla tindzaba tetimali lo seceleni kwami ngesekudla le office la kaSimak make Magagula. Sinabo ubuhlobo ke wavete ekuqaleni lo buhlobo ke bende kwekuthi sibeke lama form ethu le emahhovisi aSimak stama kufika kibo. Sikhona ke nakulele tinye tinhlangothi sinaye nje sikhona ku Facebook sikhona ku LinkedIn sinalo lelo page lethu and sinaye na WhatsApp. Ubutumbuto ke babe kwekuthi toll free accessibility titsini tinkhulumo tethu lapho. Sike sakwetama kwakhanya kwekuthi kuze sikukhone kuyabita kakhulu kanti sebancane kakhulu. Kodwa ke lesibese siyakwenda thine kwekuthi ngikholwa active lecishe umuvu makasha lucingo emahhovisi lamanyenti sesendele indlela yekwekuthi la semukela khona letincingo tethu uma ashaya umuntu nanoma ngabe akusile WhatsApp number ashaya nje sikhone ku screen kuyibona le nombolo yakho wena lo shayako. Siyesendele kwekuthi uma kwendeka ikakhulu ushaya nge-cellphone sekuyende kuyajubeka sikhone kuhamba siye uyihlola bese siyakushayela siyatama lokuva sikunika lithuba lekuthi yanza kwekuthi bofuna kuthini kithi ngaleyo ndlela leyo. Ngicela kugudla nginanatele lokunye lokushidiwo ngiletinye tikhulumi la ngidawuqala ngaMnumzane Gamet ka FSRA la khona atise sive lesisilandzelako nalesibukelako lohlelo nje kwekuthi yini bona labayendile ngesikhathi kumadima bubonakala buvuwa ngumhlaba wonke buvuwa nangilaba labasemabhizinisini labawelusile la ekutheni when they issued the regulations we relatively saw the impact of that, and ours at this point is to actually allow us facilitators kokuthi silhovers lemlamulo ndzaba tetimali on behalf of our own office and even on behalf fairly of customers congratulate emabhizinisi le uthi tehulumende makakhokhe ama COVID guidelines ekwekuthi umuntu le Jehova atambita asabele ngelokugula kweCovid akabafihliwe angaphele amahora lang 72 and FSRA wa issuisha a corresponding guideline and to guide ema business sicela kuwabonga ema business la khonile kuthi khandla kwenda lokho ngoba liqiniso lilonke asikakuboni kukhula ngoba bowungagadza kuthi tikhule kakhulu tikhalo tebantu labakhala ngekuthi abakhoni kusitakala noma kusitakala ngesikhathi uma sebafaka ema claims abo pheceledi within a particular time, in particular what government had stipulated kuba bonga nje kakhulu kuloko lokunye indzaba yekwekuthi itsinzile makamagagula le kwekuthi yebo technology wayitsinza futhi na dokotela technology is there sonke sithathile sathatheka saba khona technology kodwa ke iseyinkulu le kwekuthi le technology ikhona lama cell phones badawa nawo sebawendile ma business kuthi na la smart aqale in a humble cost everyone akhone kwa afford but letindleko te data tiyalimata kakhulu and nalo kwekuthi ke kumbe kutawumela sibone kwekuthi siyenda njani lenzaba ngoba la umuntu anekukhala khona the human touch element kusetha uthatha isikhathi ukuthi ngijabule ukuthi ngiyasitakala giyo ngingamboni lo lengikholwa ukuthi uyangisida nalengicela lisito kuye lokho yinsaya yethu sonke losilako ukuthi ingabe going forward singayenda njani to attend to it because we will forever have those traces of people that will want to physically come and see the person to whom they are speaking as they relay their issues particularly where the person a complainer ngisola kuthi 5 minutes wami sophelile ngisacela kuyibamba la ngiyabonga wena lo uqondisa lihlelo.
Thank you Ombudsman, a round of applause. Ngiyabonga ukuthi uyatsinza na ukuthi going forward senda njani because yes post COVID but life continues. Kufuna sichubeke Mr. Masimula CBE Ombud in your 5 minutes you have the floor.
Okay, thank you manje ngicela ngixolisa ukuthi asitfolakala emangayani. It's not viable for the it's not viable for the central bank to open an office in Mangayane because it's not every resident of Mangayane la ngihamba ubhanga khona. But having said that siyatfolakala kuma platforms after iCovid. In fact besebenzisa wona because one of the most difficult lesibanayo one of the most difficult lebesinayo ngesikhathi seCovid bekuyi accessibility. Utawukhumbula ukuthi ke wavalwa ukuthi bani bahambe kanti bantu bebanato inkinga temabhangi. So sitfolakala kuma social media platforms LinkedIn, Twitter, your Facebook and na page in the central bank. There is a page within the page lekhuluma Ombudsman. Or you can send us a please call number for your cell phone is advertised there. So we say our return our calls. So jabulisa dokotela njena sibantu ke sine dedicated team lebuke lokho kusi lokubhalwe lapha na kuleli page ke efika ni labantu. So we have that service. Central bank idume ukuthi ikhicita imali. That's one of the functions of the central bank. But within the central bank, ulomunye umsebenzi we central bank is to regulate iphinde supervise ukusebenza kwamabhangi. So in doing so, central bank created an office la Ombudsman of Financial Institutions. So the office lelo is where nangabe une problem with your bank. Any problem, bank-related problem, utayithatha uhambe uyipote kulokhuzana ku-Ombudsman we-financial institutions, bese uyalukhulumisa lethatha le-complaint yakho imisa kuleli bhange uyayikhulumisa. So we deal with every bank-related complaint. It might be your bank statements, it might be your mortgage things, any bank-related complaint. But now, post-COVID, to come back to our theme, inginga lesinayo nyalo bakomplaints sesiwatfola we are getting a plethora of complaints from my clients la khala ngokuthi asede imali siyathi ukuthi iCovid ilese lot of financial difficulties ebantwini and ukhanzakala umuntu bekune agreement nelibhanka usiphatha ubhadalana kanjena, but maybe side hustle yakhe iphelile or even the real job yakhe iphelile, so ufuna ku renegotiatelwa i-repayment installment yakhe nelibhanka. So yes, we are not condoning ukuthi bantu they sign contracts nemabhanka bese abasa abide by those contracts. No, we are not condoning that. But what we do to solve those issues, sivamise ukubhalala amabhanka simcele ukuthi engage leyo client without necessarily detecting kuleli bhanka ukuthi vele mehliseleni installment yakhe also. No. So sivamise ukubacela ukuthi abalokhuzana abam-engage lo client bakhulumisane ne-client, and then bese ke sebayabuya bayasireportela ukuthi bakhulumisene bafika aphi. So those are the problems esidibana now post-COVID. And now there is even a layer to such complaints. Ukhanzakala ukuthi the client ikweleta libhanka iphindze ikwelete a non-bank institution lengaregulathwa ngithi. We can only talk to the bank on the client's behalf, but we cannot talk to the non-bank. Yes. So fortunately for us, we've got a memorandum of understanding with the OFS Ombudsman wangana kubo Magenondomiso, and the refer the non-bank complaint to their side. So these are the post-COVID. These are the complaints. Let's just thinking now. But in general, people they should borrow responsibly. And secondly, people, our clients are actually responsible even themselves, because advising then we are ombudsman of financial institutions. Yes, as but we'll try and negotiate for them. So 5 minutes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Masimula and my panelists. Onke nekusho esiveni sichizelele magama la qetsa kushiwo Mr. Masimula asilumene macatha la sinelako ngakhanzi ukuthi emacatha sekayasehisha noma sekayasekhama. Thank you so much to our panelists and to our viewers. Siyacela ukuthi kulama platforms lesivele siwashito ukuthi akhona nangabe imibuto ikhona sichubeke nisifake nekucela kuma institutions ukuthi vele asichubeke siwa engage ema customer nekusho kuma customer ukuthi siyabafisela kuleli viki ukuthi kube liviki lelihle as we celebrate service. Lo mbuto wakhona ngilenguphathisa wona idi umcoka uthi my question is for CIMAC, as it has been outlined in the Industrial Relations Act establishes the commission. The same IRA establishes the Labour Commissioner's mandate. In any event, these functions are the core industrial frameworks of ADR but are mutually exclusive. What is the approach in situations whereby there is jurisdictional overlap or a lacuna, a gap in terms of jurisdiction, and does the Commission accommodate for voluntary jurisdictions for matters that may ordinarily not be within their purview, but it is still an industrial relations matter? Nango umphako wakho but may I take this opportunity kubonga our viewers for the opportunity ukuthi babe ingcenye yalomsebenzi wethu wanamuhla. Siyabonga kakhulu kubo ma panelists ethu, siyabonga for the mouthful information lensiphe yona. Siyethemba iminyango yenivulekile, siyethemba nekwenaba nelivelonke sitawuchubeka sikwende myself and my colleague here, Ms. Vilagati, siyabonga kakhulu kusibambisa siyethemba ukuthi nasemnyakeni lotako nasitawuba nayo iwebinar yethu sitawuba nayo ibe imphumelelo. Otherwise, from my end, Mr. Mxoli Simbuli, thank you so much. May I hand over to my colleague who is going to conclude.
Thank you very, very much. Angiphinze nami ngikubonga very much to all our panelists. Very insightful discussion indeed. We picked up so much, and I think I speak for the people watching at home as well. Ukuthi kunengi lebe mhlambe besingakakunaki lesikhanzile ukuthi siyakufunza namuhla. Just to go over things mina lengicantsi ngidithethe mina, and maybe the people viewing at home. Kwekuqala nje kubamba from all your discussions that, you know, in this new normal, kube indzaba yetfu sonke. Coming into this webinar, we all thought, sifuna kuyova ukuthi sisitakala njani, sinema customers sinakeka kanjani. But to find ukuthi na businesses were grappling as well, and it was a case where we all had to meet each other halfway. Picking up, secondly, ukuthi we found ourselves having to move to platforms we weren't ordinarily using and at the pace that we had to use. And it came out very clearly, ukuthi we need to invest more in digital technologies. Not only then invest more, but make them very user friendly and tisebende kungagcinwa ekuthiwa kune WhatsApp number but good response. So nato atisebende sakhanza ukuthi COVID labe muhle ngako ukuthi customer libuyele lanakeka. That was a good takeaway from COVID. But ke la bese ke nalo ngekunakeka kangaka lenda kuba lazy nalo alimbambise phela soba business il customer nalo lento show ukuthi licwayisekile and it does right. Kuthi kufika nje la kulabam labakhona namuhla kulama organizations la khona so wendile wangakakho umsebenzi akangeni nje tatata into a transaction. Sakhanza ke ukuthi kuloko kusasetshenzwa angasisita kakhulu ema standards. Thine bathengi aswate ama standards nema business akazame lokubamba le standards so that le consistency of service ukuthi ngiyitfole mankayane noma ngiyitfole mbabane ayifane angadi ukuthi ngibhekeni ngithi ngiyokhala nje ngikhala vele ukuthi uyati lenvo lena mina ngati kahle kusembabani bayaye bakwene nje but ngifike emankayeni ngakhanza sekuyinkinga ngisitakala kanjani. Safunza futhi kakhulu ukuthi lapho khona kukhalwa khona ukuthi siyafika yini noma sifiki ema organizations ethu abona ukuthi akabambisane wona lapho akhona lomunye lapho angafiki lomunye khona babese bayabambisana utholakala ukuthi sebatholakala bobabili. In all things silwela sisonke la ukuthi umthengi asitakale in an accessible way, in a speedy way, and in a fair way. Washo ke make simelane futhi ukuthi naleyo human touch ative asitakele. We thank you very, very much for today's discussion. We definitely look forward to next year's discussion coming out of today. And from me, Nami Vilagati, with that thanks, Sithe Asvale, and we hope that Umugele Kaya was well fed by today's discussion. And Sithembe ukuthi kulomnyaka lotago sitawubonana futhi.
Thank you. Let's say all wow. Wow. One of our viewers is saying, next time, please do a similar thing and teach some big corporates and category A parastatals on customer service prioritization, muhle umsebenzi, and also uthi ucela ukuthi nangabe kunema complaints abohamba ifike ekugcineni ngakhanzi ukuthi sesibashiya ibaleni. Thank you so much to our viewers. Thank you so much all of us. Have a happy and a wonderful customer service week. Thank you.